am Danny Flexen. Welcome to the latest edition of SecondsOut FLEXpectations. I'm here every Thursday at 4:30 PM to talk about the boxing action to come over the weekend. And I really apologise for everything right now. If it's unclear at all, very nasally, I've got a bad cold with a dose of hay fever dropped in for good measure. And that explains why I sound like I do. And also why I'm wearing my old Liverpool shirt, very old Liverpool shirt, when normally I'd be wearing something more suitable to the occasion. But like a brave soldier, I will do my best to give you the preview you deserve for a very intriguing fight this Saturday night between Gervonta Davis, already a world champion at 2 weights, going up against the WBA regular ruler at super lightweight, 140 pounds, uncharted waters for Davis before now, against Mario Barrios. And Showtime pay-per-view in the US, Fight TV pay-per-view here in the UK. You have to judge for yourself if you feel like it's worth forking out for. But what I can tell you is that it's a really intriguing fight. Barrios, good fighter. Yes, it's a regular belt. It's not the WBA super title. You can't class him as one of the big 4 world champions at 140 pounds. I say one of. Obviously, Josh Taylor is the undisputed champion, holds all 4 major belts. So you wouldn't put him up there even close, to be fair, to Taylor's level as it stands. But he's coming to win. He's determined. He's an explosive fighter. He's got height and reach over Davis significantly as well. He's 5'10". I think Davis is 5'5" and a half. 71-inch reach to Davis's 68 and a half or 67 and a half it might be. So, you know, significant advantages there. Explosive, powerful, carries his power late into a fight as well, as we saw 2 fights ago when he won the title against Baty Akhmedov. A lot of people, contentious result. A lot of people felt Akhmedov did enough to win, but what's beyond doubt is that Barrios came on particularly strong in the later rounds of that fight, and dropped his opponent. Since then, he's defended once against Ryan Cole, looked impressive in doing so, but neither of those guys are at a similar level, certainly in the lighter weights, as Tank Davis, who's won belts, of course, at super featherweight and lightweight. We last saw him in October when Barrios beat Cole. We saw Gervonta Davis in his pay-per-view debut take on Leo Santa Cruz, who most people thought would give him a decent fight, but would be ultimately outgunned. You know, Tank's an all-round bigger guy. I think Santa Cruz started his career much lighter weight. And so it proved. You know, it was very nip and tuck for the majority of the fight, entertaining fight as well. But then Davis uncorked a highlight reel knockout left uppercut that's been replayed so many times on social media since. I only watched it this morning, yet again. And it really was a peach of a shot. And I think one of the journalists said afterwards he should be able to build on that finish. I mean, Barrios isn't the name that Santa Cruz is. So it's going to be interesting to see how this performs on pay-per-view in the US. The early reports for Davis against Leo was that it did between 200 and 225,000 pay-per-view buyers, which exceeded expectations, but was by no means something that's going to worry the upper echelon of pay-per-view attractions and promoters. That said, if Davis can equal or even come close to that figure against a lesser name in Mario Barrios, then it bodes well for his future when he starts going into mega fights, whether that be staying at 140 pounds if he wins, or at 135, where, you know, there's mouth-watering fights in prospect with the likes of Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Vasily Lomachenko, a fight that's been talked about for quite some time. And Lomachenko, I should say as well, is in action this weekend against Nakatani. Again, you'd expect Lomachenko to come through, but it's the first time we've seen him since that loss to Lopez, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on, if there's any kind of mental or emotional hangover from that defeat. But yeah, back to Tank. Stocky, slick, explosive, powerful, just a very exciting fighter to watch. Talks a lot but backs it up. Barrios less brash, I think it's fair to say, a real kind of gentleman of the sport, but you shouldn't mistake that for a lack of confidence or desire. He's waited a while for an opportunity like this, and he sees it as Davis coming into his weight class, and he has all the physical advantages. He'll be looking to, you know, probably tuck up early on, make sure he doesn't fall victim to any massive shots, but then he'll see the second half of the fight as his territory. particularly at that weight. Davis, you know, he'll be freed to an extent by not having to make lighter weight limits. So you would expect his stamina and conditioning to be on point. Good fighter coming in as the star. There's a bit of pressure on him as the pay-per-view headliner. You know, he's certainly the A side in this fight. But yeah, and this was as well the only of the much celebrated Showtime boxing spring and summer 2021 schedule. This was the only pay-per-view show on there. I know since then we've seen Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul pay-per-view, but that wasn't included as part of the traditional boxing schedule. So a lot of pressure in that sense, but you would expect Davis to rise to the occasion, not just in terms of weight, but in terms of his performance as well. Barrios, I can see giving Davis some trouble, especially in those kind of mid to late rounds if he makes it that far. But if Davis is the star in waiting that we all think he is, then he should get to his opponent. You know, that long, slender body is going to be attractive to Davis with those hooks and uppercuts, and you would expect him to get to him somewhere around the 9th or 10th round, I would think. But yeah, and also good undercard as well, particularly the super welterweight fight between Jason Rosario and Erickson Lubin. We've had Erickson on the channel before. Great guy, obviously rebounded incredibly well from his one-round defeat to Jamel Charlo, which would have destroyed a lot of young prospects / contenders. You know, the mental fatigue of building up to such a huge fight, biggest fight of your career, and being wiped out so early on. And with what looked like a glancing shot as well, but it was just perfectly placed. But he's rebuilt. He's beaten a number of contenders since. He's knocking on the door for a rematch or another title shot at the weight. And then you've got Jason Rosario, until recently was a world champion, obviously lost out in that unification contest, but still very dangerous. They can both punch. They're both technically adept as well. And if anything, in terms of kind of competitive nature of the fight, this may even be better than the main event. So really, really looking forward to the show. Thanks to Fight TV for making it available to UK viewers. A few days ago, it looked like we weren't going to be able to watch it over here. And now we have to watch it with a fee, unfortunately. But it's better than not having the option to watch it at all. So we look forward to that. Now, I'm going to keep it relatively short this week because, as I've already mentioned, I'm not doing too well on the nasal front, and it might not be that clear what I'm saying all of the time. And also, I don't feel great, so pity me, poor me, poor me. But let me know what you think of Tank against Barrios, who you fancy, and what sort of round do you think it's going to end in, or will it go to distance? Also, Jason Rosario, Erickson Lubin, who are you picking and why? And let us know what you think about Lomachenko's comeback. Has he still got a lot to offer, particularly at 135 pounds? Let me know in the comments and I'll respond to some of them. Meanwhile, I'll be back, hopefully with a full, clean bill of health on Monday, 4:30 PM for the next reflections, looking back on some of these fights. And the following Thursday, 4:30 PM as well, the next FLEXpectations. As always, really appreciate your time and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.